So here is our hardest OB math I've ever come across. So here it goes. It says patient M is to receive 1 unit of 500 milliliter of red blood cell over 4 hours. For the first 30 minutes, you should infuse at 100 milliliter an hour. After 30 minutes, what rate per milliliter per hour would the nurse set the pump at to infuse the remaining balance? So in this question, what they're really asking you for is after you infuse the 100 milliliter within the first 30 minutes by setting the pump for 100 milliliter an hour, how much will you set the remaining balance at the pump at? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start. So it's gonna take a lot of steps, so I'm gonna do them as step 1, step 2, step 3. So it says, so I'm gonna say 100 milliliter is gonna be infused at 60 minutes, because remember, we're gonna set the pump at an hour, because it says infuse at 100 milliliter an hour for the first 30 minutes. So we're gonna set it at 60 minutes, right? Then I'm gonna say 30 minutes is equal to X milliliter, because I don't know how much will be infusing in the first 30 minutes as yet. So then I'm gonna work it out. You know, I pretty much cross multiply. It's kind of like ratio proportion. So I pretty much like cross multiply. I'm gonna end up with 60x is equal to 3,000. I divided 60 by both sides, and that will leaves me with x will be equal to 50 milliliter. So okay, I now know that 50 milliliter is infused in the first 30 minutes. So that will leave me with a remaining balance of 450 milliliter out of the 500. So we know that 50 milliliter is infused in the first 30 minutes when we set the pump at 100 milliliter per hour. Now, the second step of this that we're gonna do is we're gonna say 500 minus 50 milliliter, which is gonna end up with 450 milliliter. But remember, initially we were supposed to infuse over 4 hours, but then we already took 30 minutes away, so now we're only gonna leave with 3 hours and 30 minutes. So when we work out 3 hours and 30 minutes, we're gonna get 3.5, because we know that 30 minutes is half of an hour. So you have to kind of convert it to 3.5. All right, so now we're gonna say 450 is divided by 3.5, because this is the remaining balance we're working out right now, right? So we're gonna say 450 divided by 3.5, and if I'm recording too fast, you can always pause the recording and re-listen to make sure you hear the correct steps. So now we're going to say 450 is divided by 3.5 gives us 128.57. However, at my school, as I suggest, BC rounding rule, I go to Broward College, we have a rounding rule. It states that you have to round it to the nearest 10th place. So my answer will be 128.6 milliliter per hour, and we never forget our units.